And I'll do the burn. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special episode of the STS Guys, where we are going to be talking Star Wars here. This is going to be a little bit different, though, because we have some guests, but we're doing the, what would we call it, the Force Fiesta, right, for Nerds Unite, and we have a couple of folks from the other channel here that are going to be jumping over here in just a moment. So we're going to give them a second to come across here. Boom. It looks like we have Trevor on here. How's it going, Trevor?
What up? This is going to be interesting, right? Like as we pop in, a little bit different, but that's cool.
Yeah, we're jumping on here. Woo! And hello. We're starting to get a full house here.
Full house.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Roy Laughlin's in jail. I don't think it's going to be a full house.
So, how's everybody doing today?
It's all right. It's actually nice that it's not as hot as it's been here in California.
Yes.
So. That works. It is very hot here in Texas. So
it's pretty hot.
Isn't it always? I don't know.
Yeah, they sent heat to us, and it was just like a vacation for the heat. It's gone back to where it normally is.
Yeah, like come. Man. It's generally pretty awful here. So as we were saying, I think we have a few more people that we're going to get going. Or do you guys want to get started here? Do we want to wait for everybody? Or do we want to get into this? Because the topic we're talking about today is: did Disney ruin Star Wars? Which I got opinions. I'm going to tell you, I have opinions here. And we have Liz on. How's it going?
Hey.
Hello.
Well,
Perfect.
You're in the right place then, because Trevor loves opinions.
I saw.
Yeah. My goodness. He even dive bombed in there with some Harry Potter hot takes. That was fun.
Just
I was not expecting that. I'm like, oh. Felt personally attacked there. So I'm like going through my 20th rewatch of the films. I'm like, okay. That was fun. No, it's who else do we have? We have Ryan.
We got Ryan here. So good. So we got everybody here. We got our full panel in place. So here's what I want to do just to get started as we go. Because like I said, our topic today is did Disney ruin Star Wars? I just want to kind of go through and just do a quick round table and get everyone's kind of general opinion. Is it yay or nay for you guys?
Okay.
So let's go through. Larry, what is your starting opinion here?
Oh, my starting opinion is if Disney did kill Star Wars, I don't want to steal Scott's thunder because I know what Scott's going to say, but I feel like it's kind of already it was already the prequels kind of killed Star Wars, didn't it?
It's
not Disney's fault, man. It was already in motion.
See, that's where I'm coming from. Is I think the prequels started the trend and Disney just beat that horse to death. Is my opinion. But let's go through. Trevor, how about you?
I think without Disney, Star Wars would have died.
That is a good point.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go around the clock. Ryan?
I agree with Trevor 100%. They saved it, in my opinion.
Yep. Okay. Liz, how about you?
I'm going to say that Disney is messing up Star Wars.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
Sorry, Disney.
It's okay.
No, it's all
okay.
Right. I love Star Wars, but I think Disney did it dirty. So, and let's go here, Prague. How about you, man?
Okay. I'm gonna say just off the bat, no, they did not kill Star Wars. But I have reasons why, and it's not probably the reasons you're expecting. So. I'll say for now. We'll dive deeper later.
Cool.
So yeah. So we at least know where everyone's coming from. So when our arguments get into it, I feel like I need to know who are my allies and who I can be like, see, look.
Who are my allies? We're all friends of the Force here.
Exactly. All right, Larry, you're gonna say something.
Scott, can you throw up that giveaway image? Because
you're gonna start it now.
We can talk. Yeah, I'm gonna start it now.
All right.
I'm gonna let it run for like 10 minutes. But we talked last week when we teased this thing that people wanted a giveaway and people wanted a Funko Pop giveaway. So we're gonna give away a Mandalorian, the child with cup, Baby Yoda Funko Pop.
I love the fact
give
that
me
it's
a second
child with cup.
It's very descriptive. Yeah. So give me a second to set it up while Scott's talking. But you're going to enter by doing !point raffle, and I also have one of these awesome X-Wing Pilot Nerds Unite stickers that somebody will get along with that pop too.
Perfect. Cool.
Nice.
Very nice.
So
It's
that
in the
works.
upper right corner.
Yeah, the little guy.
Right. I'm on brand
that
man.
way.
Like,
That way.
that's been the one that I've used every time I've shared out stuff. I've been using the X-Wing Pilot. That was the STS Guys one that we bought. Like that's the one I'm owning right now.
So that works. Well, cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I just kind of want to go through and start with just kind of a roundtable. We all know where everyone stands, but we got some reasoning, right? Like Larry, you and I have beat this topic to death on the STS Guys before, but really, like, I tell you, the downfall of Star Wars was that first time when I was in the theater watching that prequel trilogy when they started talking about the trade disputes and midichlorians.
Oh, you said the M word.
All that stuff. Yeah, yes. No, exactly. Like that movie, I was in there the whole time going, what the shit is this? Like, this is not a Star Wars movie. Like, I did not come to Star Wars to watch politics. Like, that was in the background of the original trilogy, right? Like, there was always that whole idea of the rebels, the thing, but that was not what made that movie great. And for some reason, George Lucas was like, you know what people really want? Political drama. Like, and that to me was the point where I was like, I don't care about any of these things. And they tried to save it. I mean, come on, everyone, Jar Jar Binks. Like, can anybody tell me you actually enjoyed Jar Jar Binks in the movie? Like, yeah, see, no one is jumping to Jar Jar's defense. No one jumps to his defense back. No, I think he added a lot to it. That was the point for me where I was like, I love Star Wars, but I don't know if I'm going to like these anymore.
But doesn't the political side lead to the underlining theme of fascism? Like the whole Star Wars thing was based off of Nazi Germany.
Yeah, and it's true. And without that, you wouldn't get the lead into like how did Palpatine become the Empire, right? But couldn't you have just had him already like as the emperor at that point? Like, did we really need to know how the empire came to be? Like, for me, Nazi Germany shows up and there's still going to be everybody fighting Nazi Germany, right? Regardless of how Hitler came to power, I don't really care. I want to see that fight between him and the people that don't do it. Like, I think they could have started way later and started at that point and made a better story.
Yeah, because they're prequels. We already knew what happened because of episodes 4, 5, and 6. Like, right? It's a hard sell.
It is, and I think you could have saved the politics for like books instead of the films.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Or like a Disney Plus series,
or a Disney Plus series, or just never.
Just
that too.
Or never. Yeah, that works too.
You know what's been great is the background comic books. Throw a political one in that, and they can teach it in like social
Star
studies
Wars
in school.
C-SPAN. It's just broadcast 24 hours on Disney Plus.
Exactly.
That would be amazing. Right, you got great. You got the guns and Boss Nass up there talking stuff. Like that would be filibustering. That would be amazing.
You can still have Yoda flipping around somehow. Sure. He's 20 years from his death, but he's still flipping around. Like he's like apparently in his species, like that's the difference point for his ability. Like, hey,
maybe he was just in the prime of his existence, Scott.
Exactly.
Maybe he ages like a dog.
He's still a baby at 50, but those last 30 years, he just ages like that. And just
did a lot of parkour. That's all.
Yeah.
He hit that peak, and then it's just straight downhill once you reach that certain age.
So, and see, I think that's where my problem with it kind of started is those movies tried to throw everything that would like a focus, like somebody they sat down and had a focus group of like, what do you guys love about Star Wars? And they're like crazy flips and lightsaber battles, and like all this stuff. Like, all right, we're gonna throw all of that in there, like just throw it all in. And it was so like paint by the numbers at the point, and then those have continued on with the new ones. Like one of my biggest gripes is, I'm going to bring this up. You guys are going to get mad because I'm going to bring up Solo as a movie for my gripe, and see how many people cared about how he got his last name Solo. Did we have to know?
Don't point at me. I don't care. I enjoyed the film.
Did we all need to know?
Did I care? No, I didn't.
Oh, did we have to know that he didn't have a last name and then they gave him one? Like that didn't do anything to the story. It was just a stupid like, hey fans,
It's like when Emperor says you'll be called Darth Vader.
Yeah,
that fell flat. Is possibly
exactly. It was like it's they're paint by numbers movies, and I think that's where I get to the point where I'm like, I'm not excited to watch them as I am like, I will stop what I'm doing if I ever go anywhere and one of the original 3 is on TV. If I'm anywhere, I will literally I shut down. I'm like, oh, I'm watching Jedi's on or Empire's on. Like, I'm watching it. Sorry, nothing's getting done today. I don't do that with any of the other ones. Except Rogue One. To me, Rogue One went back to that same feel of the original. And like, and that one to me was the better. But I've talked enough, so I want to hear from you guys. You guys you kind of came to the idea that you had some ideas that were not the same way here. So I want to hear your argument, because you got me intrigued.
So I'm going to start off by saying that the reason why I said that Disney did not kill Star Wars is because I think at the point that the word Mandalorian came out of Qui-Gon Jinn's mouth in The Phantom Menace, I think the world got taken away from Lucas. I think that the universe of Star Wars had outgrown even its creator, and it's too big for any one person or entity to contain. It kind of it's part of everyone now. You know, like anyone can create a story within it. I think, in my opinion, I don't think any one entity can destroy it. We still love, like you said, you can sit down at any point and watch the original trilogy. I can't do it. If it's on TV, I'm glued. I'm like a Pavlovian dog. I'm like, oh my God, it's Star Wars. Even though I own every single like copy available and have it on my computer or digital, it doesn't matter. If it's on TV, I'm gonna sit there and watch it. So I think, and if you look at even the new films that you may not like, I mean, they still disregard the midichlorians. They don't talk about midichlorians at all. In the new series,
it's true.
Thank
God.
I really think that they're hoping, like people are saying, like maybe they'll just forget that we said that.
Maybe. I have a bad feeling they won't, because they kind of teased it in The Mandalorian. You know, they kept like scanning Baby Yoda and like, I wonder what they're scanning Baby Yoda for. Is it a midichlorian count? I wonder. So Dave Filoni really likes midichlorians, so it could be
Dave Filoni will fall on the George Lucas cross for sure.
He will. So it might happen. I'm just saying, but I do feel like Disney didn't kill it, because what Disney did was they went, oh my God, we just spent billions of dollars. We need to make it back as quick as possible. Let's saturate the market. Whenever you saturate a market with anything, it's going to feel blander in comparison, because we grew up, I mean, I know all of us here probably grew up with Star Wars, and that's all we had with those first 3 films. That's it. Just that. And now you have everything from video games and cartoons and you name it. It's out there. It's saturated, especially when Disney took it over. Yep. So I don't think they killed it. All they did was they stretched it so thin that it's hard to find the center again, if that makes sense. But I think it's big enough now to where you can kind of create your own pocket of that universe if you wanted to. Like, I'll just stick with the originals, or I'll stick with the collectibles. You know, I'll stick with the Clone Wars, whatever.
So I feel that there's a vast disparity too between their television content and the movies, right? Like I think that they've put a lot more care into world building and like keeping that, like putting in fan service, but doing it in a way that like feels natural. Whereas in the movies, it's just like throw everything at the fan, like and getting set up. Like to me,
TV
like
versus movies. I mean, if you made a Game of Thrones movie, think how terrible that would be. How much time would you have to spend of those 2 hours explaining all the different regions?
Yeah. See, that doesn't work. But with like, luckily with Star Wars, there's 2 sides. Like you got two groups, right?
Well, that's why they're expanding the universe out.
Yeah,
so all the planets mean something.
It works. Those TV shows work really well, and it gives you the opportunity to go out of it. Like, I think Mandalorian works because there's no Jedi, right? There's like the Empire's there, but there's not this whole Jedi. There's not a Skywalker in sight. Like, it's not this like focused on this one group of people. It's,
I mean, because there is a Jedi.
It's a whole.
Because Baby Yoda is clearly a Jedi of some sort, right?
He's force sensitive. He is not a Jedi. Yeah. Like, whatever. Yeah, you have to go through the training to be a Jedi. But
getting overly technical here now.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm getting. And I mean, he helps the Mandalorian kill some stuff. Yeah, like he helps the Mandalorian kill stuff. So there's a very good chance that we don't know that he's necessarily going to be on the good side. He could flip as a mercenary that he's potentially going to be now.
But if you go into the question is, are bounty hunters villains? Or are they inherently evil? They're just doing their job.
I think that's where they get
I've heard before.
Yeah, I think that they get to the idea where they, as a bounty hunter, you're not bound to good or bad. So why couldn't you just walk that line in the middle, right? So again, this is getting off topic, but I think that it gets to the point of there's so much more possibility with these TV shows that I'm excited for versus the movie. So I guess I have to amend my
Star Wars. Yeah, I think
I have to amend my position a little bit. That is, Disney ruined Star Wars movies, but has made it a place for Star Wars TV shows to thrive.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, actually, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I'm flip flopping here. You've convinced me. I'm switching it around. Let's go through. So Liz, just go through. So you kind of had the same idea that I did, or at least the same position. So I want to hear kind of from your side. What's your take on this? Let's. The floor is yours.
Well, I think that Disney went into, they bought Star Wars. I don't think they really got the Star Wars fan base. Like, I just think they didn't understand all the different aspects. And when they got rid of canon and all the books that they now call the expanded universe, it shut the doors, because I think all those books and comics and video games expanded the Star Wars universe. And Disney has made it smaller by saying none of those books count, disregard The Last Heir, and all the books written from, I wrote down the years, from starting in 91 to 2002, whenever Disney bought Star 2012, thank you. Yeah. And I think Disney's going to want to appeal to the largest base, and that's the middle of the road fan. It's not going to be the hardcore fans or necessarily just the casual fan that somebody talked about in the previous stream, where they just want to go see the movie so they can talk about it at the water cooler, but they're not really a fan. They're just there to be part of the movement.
I love Star Wars. Yay!
Right.
You don't.
Yeah.
Like.
Right. So Disney is just taking the middle of the road, and I'm going to preference this that I'm not going to mention The Mandalorian. I'm just talking about the movies, because I agree with Scott that The Mandalorian has opened up a different world that we didn't have before in the movies. And I kind of was like, when they did episode 7, it was pretty much just a rehash of episode 4. You know, it's this, it was the fill in the dots, or what, I forget the analogy you used, paint by numbers movie. And I agree with that. And I think it was slightly lazy. But I just think this, as I said, Disney wants to appeal to the largest number possible.
But you also have to remember that Disney needs to make their money back. So they were like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this the best and fastest way possible? Let's give them what they're used to and just like refresh it.
Yeah, that's
And I think here's the thing with Star Wars, no matter what they put out, somebody just was put on the same thing, is like, good or bad, they're still going to make money.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no matter what, like, you throw Star Wars out there, you're going to make money off it. It doesn't matter. It can be a steaming pile and people will still shell out money for it. They're going to bitch about it online forever, but they're still going to go see it, and they're still going to
Because they love bitching about Star Wars. So of course
dude, that's
bitching about Star Wars.
That's a hobby of mine. Yeah, that's my hobby is complaining about Star Wars. I say I love it, then I'm like, I talk really bad about it sometimes. But it's
well,
that truth
you
is
can't
that they're
hate,
gonna throw.
Right? There's a fine line between love and hate, and if you love
like
something,
family.
you can be overly critical. Yeah.
Exactly.
You can make fun of your family more than anybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's
So
true.
it's
End
a
of
thing,
the
but
end of the day, we love Star Wars.
yeah, but
Yeah.
to Liz's point, like it does. It feels like Star Wars now has lost the heart that it had at the beginning. And I don't know if it's Disney's fault necessarily, but like those last three, I didn't have that same feeling going into the movies that I did before. And it was the same thing. Because I was like, this is not for me. This is a movie that, like I said, a focus group said, this is great. Everyone in the focus group gave the thumbs up, so Disney pumped that movie out. Right? That was this will appeal to every single person, not the hardcore Star Wars fan.
But to Liz's point, like there were almost a full generation of people that read these books that had all these extra lore, and Disney's like, nope, none of that. Yeah. Like you had all this built-in story already. Just do that.
It was
bizarre.
The saddest thing was none of that, but we're going to borrow pretty heavily from it.
Right, but we'll pick and choose maybe something that rehash it, but it didn't quite work as well.
Yep.
And that was the kick in the teeth, so to speak, that you found out like all these characters that you love and things are just gone. And the other question I have is, outside of the prequel trilogies, everyone knows all these things about Mandalorians and how badass they are and everything because of those. There was no whole thing about these Mandalorians in any of the original ones. That never even used in the original group. It's not until the first three where they're talking about Jango Fett and about being a Mandalorian that you find out like, oh, it's true. That's what they're called and everything. Like that's what set this whole thing in motion. Was those expanded universe where they're talking about Boba Fett and where he comes from and Mandalorians and all that stuff. Like, how can you throw that away and say, oh, none of that really exists?
It's because you can refine the story. No, it's just refining, because you have two books that tell the exact opposite storyline of Luke and having kids and then Han and Leia having kids and what those kids end up meaning. It gets super convoluted. They kind of had to do that.
Yeah, I get that some of that stuff they had to go, but like you can't. It just seems like they treated that, and those fans that had watched that, it was just like, hey, to you guys, and we're going to do our own thing.
George
and
Lucas already did it in 1999, so
yeah, it's true.
Like my thing, the reason why Disney saved Star Wars is simply because I grew up when the prequels came out and they ruined it for me, and you only had those original three movies to kind of latch yourself onto. And then Dave Filoni tried to do something with Clone Wars, and not that many people ever watched it or heard of it. And then Disney acquired in 2012, and they started making Rebels for Disney XD, and they gave so Cartoon Network didn't actually just have to be doing their own thing with Clone Wars. So those two shows got rolling, and those two shows are the ones that really dived into the lore of the expanded universe, because Dave Filoni knows what he's talking about, and he's ingested all this stuff, and he's really good at making it accessible for people. That's why The Mandalorian's so appealing. Like, I don't think Mandalorian's particularly great. Everyone's like, oh, it's a great show. It's not a great show. It's a mediocre show, but it's really fun within the Star Wars universe. It's not made particularly well, but everyone loves Baby Yoda. It has definite appeal for that. I love Baby Yoda. I enjoyed every single episode, but they're easily picked apart. But Clone Wars and Rebels,
I mean, Larry does not like Baby Yoda. Out of everybody on this thing, Larry is not a fan.
Larry.
Jeez. I was going to segue.
I think the show is great.
I was segueing to the winner of the Baby Yoda pop. That's where I was going. I've been staring at this, wanting to pick a winner for a while, and the Scenes won. So congrats, the Scenes.
Oh, the Scenes!
I will reach out and get your info.
Yeah.
Please continue about the baby.
Okay.
About the baby.
So the main idea though is that 65 million people watched the new season of Clone Wars, season 7, on Disney Plus. Guess what? There is no follow-up season 7 of Clone Wars if Disney doesn't acquire them. There's no Disney Plus shows at all. There's no platform for people to be creative. Books, guess what, our culture, people don't read books, so that's a stupid non-starter. People are just too ignorant to read books. So you need digestible TV show forms for people, and that's what Disney's giving people. And then not only that, we haven't touched on it, but two, Disney. I mean, Star Wars Land is absolutely remarkable. It takes every single positive aspect that people remember, and they literally give you a physical interpretation to look at and feel. That's something that's George Lucas could have never done. If any other lesser company tried to pull it off, it wouldn't have been in a close approximation.
Yeah, but then we're stuck with the Mickey ears that are Star Wars theme, and I seriously just can't. I can't do the Mickey ears.
I am with Liz on this one. The whole aspect of if I want Star Wars shit, it has to also have a Mickey Mouse thing somewhere on it now. No, I want just
go build a droid and build a lightsaber. Go buy Darth Vader's actual metal tilted lightsaber.
You can do that without the Mickey logo on it.
I've gone to plenty of Comic-Cons that have that crap.
Get yourself a CNC machine.
Yeah. So,
or that.
Okay, so go through. Ryan, we haven't heard from you. As in tradition, I'm going to save Larry for last because I love to do this to him. Ryan, it's to go through. Let's hear from you.
Okay, well, I think between the six of us here, I'm not saying I'm not a Star Wars fan. We said this on the last 2 panels ago that was on the Dorksman page here, but I would categorize myself as a casual Star Wars fan. I enjoy the movies, but as compared to some my other fandoms, like obviously Iron Man and Marvel, I'm not as well versed in it. So for me, if you ask me the question, did Disney kill Star Wars? I would say absolutely not, because everybody here has valid points. Number one, the prequels, I think we can all agree, were not up to par, anywhere close to what the original 3 movies were. We understand that. George Lucas kind of destroyed it. However, if it weren't for Disney coming in 2012 and doing what it has for the movies, introducing Batu to the world, that sounded really bad because Batu here in Hawaii means ice or, smoking rocks. So, sorry,
it's
side tangent here.
It's
sorry,
crack.
Crack. But really, to that point, it is crack because it's that crack that people wanted, right? People in our age demographic that remember seeing the movies originally in the theaters, or for me, I didn't see the original 3. I'm not of that age bracket, but I did remember seeing the prequels, and while they weren't great, it was still Star Wars. So to me, I've never been there yet. The last time I went to Disneyland, it wasn't open yet, but I look forward to it. Being there physically and feeling like you're interacting with the environment of Star Wars, I can only imagine that I would probably be hit in the feels here the first time I walk in there. So
when you go Rise of the Resistance, it's nothing else matters about any complaint or criticism of Star Wars as the second you go on that ride.
But on the movie side, I'm going to also think about it in terms of what Disney has done for Marvel. They've picked apart individual parts of stories and they've meshed them together in a way that the hardcore fans would be like, this isn't right. But, they're trying to impress the general pool of fans and, to Prog's point, make their money back on their investment here. And I think their approach on it is, let's try to appeal to the mass and not necessarily that niche group of hardcore fans that understands the lore and the backstory and understands all those little niche ideas behind everything. And they're just okay, if we appeal to 85% of this population, there's a good chance that we'll make X amount of money back. And if you look at it from a financial point, that's probably good for business.
Right. But see, to a lot of our points is, I think that's all Disney's looking at this at.
Yeah.
Is they don't look at this as we're making a movie Star Wars because we enjoy Star Wars. We like Star Wars. We want a good Star Wars story. It's how much will this story, for the script that we have right here, how much do you think this is going to net us? Is this a $1 billion movie?
Made the money back, though. They have the investment way paid for.
Oh yeah, but still, you're talking corporate greed at this point. And I'm going to tell you right now, they don't get. They made their money back. Now it's profit, so they're going to say, hey, let's keep making that more.
Yeah. Totally.
So and I think that's right. It comes down to just the dollars, and for them is how much can it make us? Did they do Star Wars Land to everyone's point? Did they do Star Wars Land out of the goodness of their heart? No,
of course
they said,
not. No,
people aren't going to Disneyland anymore because we haven't built anything new. Star Wars, ding, ding, ding. We just got this. Let's build this Star Wars Land. Did they do it well? Sure.
They had a copy. Universal when they did Harry Potter, and the audience increased to Universal parks because of the Wizarding World parks.
I actually even forgot about
Universal is in a much tougher space than Disneyland.
Yeah, but
Disneyland, they could literally open the gates and say everything's closed today, and they would almost sell out the park.
But I 100% forgot about the fact that Star Wars Land is a copy of something somebody else did.
Well, Wizarding
that's
World
not
is
even
not that good.
Yeah.
If we're comparing apples to oranges,
it's pretty good.
Not the details in the world. It's cool, but it's not definitely the details of the world.
The bottom line. Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead, Larry.
You just broke Liz's heart. No, so
I don't even like Harry Potter. Like I probably don't know all the details because I don't watch Harry Potter, but like I went there and I walked around and it feels like you're in a Harry Potter movie. Like it was pretty cool.
I think Larry watched his first one like
I did
too long ago.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the bottom line here with real quick, sorry. The bottom line here with Disney, to Scott's point, is if they do it right, meaning in this case, doing Batuu and Star Wars Land, and getting you to come to the park, getting you to spend money on merchandise, X amount of time that you're spending in that part of the park, it reinvigorates your passion for Disneyland and their brand as a whole. So of course you're going to keep coming back. You're going to keep coming back. And I know we have a lot of people that live in the Southern California area. I'm willing to bet a lot of you guys have annual passes. And the more times you come back to the park, you're spending X amount of money. And that's... in the business world, that's called ARPU, average revenue per unit, right? So they're making money off of you either which way, whether it's a ticket sale, you come in and you buy food, you buy a shirt, you build a lightsaber, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. They've got you Funko Pop.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, and this is off subject, once they build the Marvel Land across the way at California Adventure, I'm that dingus that's going to be there first in line. Probably not first, but I will be there, obviously, right? Because that's my thing.
Yeah.
Well, just let me say that Wizarding World is when people design things for money. And Star Wars Land is when you put people who are passionate about Star Wars to create something to make money. Like Universal's like, we need to make money. Disney's like, let's put people who are super passionate about this and we'll make the money. Yeah. It's an upper level thing where Disney has the more strategic planning than Universal to do these things.
And you're right. The Star Wars rides at Disneyland are way better than the Harry Potter rides at Universal. Yeah. Right. The world looks cool when you walk through like that gate or whatever, but the rides don't even compare. There you go.
So, all right. So Larry, we haven't heard from you. So let's go on. As I want to get everyone's opinion, we're about halfway through here, and then we can get into some more debate because I think there's a lot more to be said here. But let's go through. I want to get your kind of in-depth point.
Yeah, I mean, like it's hard, right? Like you guys kind of sold me that, yeah, sure, Disney's is what kept Star Wars alive. And I guess if that's the question, did Disney kill Star Wars? I mean, not really, right? That's why it's still a thing. But my interest, right?
Did they ruin it? Yes.
Kind of, right? My interest, they killed my interest level. That's how I'm taking the question, right? Like, well, okay.
Disney did.
It was already dead. It was already dead.
That's the thing. You got to remember that 2012. The things that Star Wars has done since 2012 is all that Disney's controlled. They didn't tell George Lucas to make terrible films.
But then they came in and made a couple of terrible ones themselves.
They didn't do anything to make them better.
Yeah, they didn't go, we could make these a lot better. They went, all right, we'll just kind of stick with that.
I don't know. Last Jedi was pretty amazing. Enough. We just had a panel about it.
Yeah. Right, the best.
Rogue One, too.
Anyway. Rogue One was okay. But anyway, it was already...
Luckily, Joey's not on this
one. I know. Joey would be like, what the hell?
Where's Joey?
I don't know where he is right now.
Hurricane stuff. But yeah, anyway, it was already dead, right? It was already dying. My interest level was already gone. Like, I wanted to really like Force Awakens, but then like Liz said, it came out and it felt an awful lot like New Hope. And then Last Jedi came out and I was really excited and had some cool stuff. But then end of the day, it wasn't a very good movie. Same with Rise of Skywalker. That Star Wars Celebration panel a couple years ago, when the Emperor walked out and was like, play it again to the trailer. That moment was awesome. Scott and I, I know Scott remembers that, watching that with me at work, and we were both, we were super stoked. And then the movie came out and it just wasn't that good. So I think that just my point is it's kind of killed my interest. I'm still a Star Wars fan, but man, I don't, we were talking Star Wars collectibles yesterday. I don't really care about Star Wars stuff so much anymore. Not like I used to.
So what other thing? Like, I get we're starting to get to the point with comic book movies coming out here, but like, there's been a term called Star Wars fatigue is real. Like, we have the fact that we have too much Star Wars stuff and people are tired of it.
Well, you don't have to watch it all.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it does give you more.
So
but it gives you more choices.
Yeah.
Say,
But
I hate the new movies. Well, watch Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Go put on Clone Wars. Have you seen Clone Wars? Oh, I've never seen Clone Wars. Oh,
so I want the Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars back. Can we please get him to come by and do some more of those ones? If anybody remembers that series.
Yes.
Yeah. So the guy who did Samurai Jack, yeah, I want that one back.
I do like the opportunities that Mandalorian, like the doors that Mandalorian is hopefully can open for like the Disney Star Wars thing. Like
Mandalorian's just opening doors that people didn't watch Rebels.
Well, yeah, I didn't watch Rebels. Who wants to watch
Exactly.
Rebels?
No one watched Rebels. They dive into Sabine and what
It's a
Mandalore
cartoon.
actually means.
So
It's for kids.
yeah,
But I hope that we.
So it's Star Wars.
I hope that we get other TV shows, live action TV shows.
we
that are
Larry and I
just-
have talked about this. Like,
Yeah.
we
so
want.
my big
I
one.
want a
I want a
bounty hunter.
medical drama.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want like a court drama with the Emperor as like Judge Judy. Like, that's what I want. Like, you could totally do that. Like, guilty.
That
Like,
happens in Clone Wars.
yeah. But yeah, I want an entire
End of
series based on that.
Season 5.
Yeah.
Telling you, man. The thing is, that's what's so funny when anybody brings up Star Wars lore. When you watch the original trilogy, lore is probably the furthest thing from George Lucas's mind. There's no lore. It's been completely created after those movies were developed. So you can't really go against it.
Yeah,
That's a
for
good
the
point.
most part, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think he had a vision, but he didn't.
But they don't go into what it
beyond
means
that.
to
No.
any of that. That's why he made the prequels, because he's like, I need to create a lore.
Explain.
Yeah.
That's
And
what happens when
and
you
I'm gonna do it
magic.
badly. Yeah. Yeah, trying to explain these things. Like, it's not. They went too far, I think.
Just have
is
Alec
really.
Guinness tell me it's a force that binds all living things together, and he rolls his eyes when he speaks the line, and it's good. We're fine.
We're good. These
I thought
certain
George
people can
Lucas
magic.
Had
Cool.
all 9 movies plotted out before he even started filming.
Allegedly.
And allegedly, but here's the question: after those prequels, do you really want 3 more of what he had planned?
If he hired a dialogue coach or a dialogue writer, like that was George's weakest link, is he could not write the dialogue.
Yeah,
But-
that's where his wife stepped in a lot, right?
Yeah.
With
And
that and the
He
editing
couldn't
process.
really admit it.
Yeah.
That-
Well, and because
That goes to our point of talking about no one was around him to say no.
it was
Yeah.
it's like George has secluded himself where he doesn't know how humans speak to each other anymore when he writes lines.
Right?
He's like, I'm sure this is how I would say this line to somebody, and you're like, dude, that did not.
It's
That did
best
not
when he
flow
talks
right.
on that Mandalorian making of documentary. He's talking to Jon Favreau, and it's like the dude just doesn't know how to interact with human beings.
It's like that one. He's like, how awkward is George Lucas that that's how he thinks people talk?
Right? You hate sand? Oh,
Yeah.
I hate sand. Oh, I hate it. That's awful.
Yeah.
This is how people talk, right?
Yeah. If I was middle of the thing, like
Yes.
Oh my.
the Qui-Gon Jinn negotiation with the gambling and stuff, you're like, that if that's how he thinks that interaction would actually have gone, that is a how that was the weirdest thing, like that you would think, like, well, we can't take your mother. Why? What actual reason do you have not to free the mom?
Yeah, why
Like,
not?
you could obviously be like, hey, we can't take her with you, but I can magic these dice to whatever outcome I want. So let's go ahead and save her at least, so she's not a slave.
Right.
Oh, nope. Not going to do that. That's not how that would. No one would actually do that.
Yep, it's strange.
Yeah. So
Oh, well.
yeah, it's sad. But yeah, to that point is, I've heard there was some write-ups. Has anybody seen the old write-up of what the original like Empire sequel was supposed to be? There was like this lost like script that was originally set out where it was like where before they decided that Luke and Leia were going to be like siblings, where they go to some like mining planet and there's this whole like where they're fighting the Empire there. They had like some write-ups of like some of the future scripts that were supposed to be and that were kind of in flight, and they were not good. Like, at that point, I'm sure they haven't been refined, but if you go back to those original ones, like if you start there and then try to see what would happen in the future, I don't think it would be that great. And to the question, why did you start at part 4? Does anybody know why you decided 4 is the way I'm going to start?
Conveniently enough, it doesn't say episode 4 when the movie came out in 1977.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on. So a few days ago, StarWars.com actually released unreleased footage of him telling that story. Because someone in the audience had asked him this, and he said it would not be as fun for him to talk about the backstory. Who cares about the backstory? He literally says this.
Everyone.
That sounds like a George Lucas thing to say.
So
Yeah.
jump into the episode 4 when he wrote his saga. And he said, I don't want to talk about that boring stuff beforehand. I just want to dive in right into the action. So that's why he started with 4 and didn't go 1, 2, 3.
Right. But to the point is, he's like, I'm going to start at 4, but I'm not going to tell anybody it's at 4 until we make 5, and then I'm going to go back and retcon that other one to 4.
Until we make enough money that we can actually get approved for a sequel. Otherwise, I would look like an idiot if I come and said I had 9 movies ready to go.
Right. Exactly. I have 9 movies, but I really think starting halfway through is the best part to make the story. We'll have to do some prequels and then some post stuff. Logically it's going to make sense down the road.
They'll be like 30 years apart. That way it'll leave people wanting more. Don't worry.
Don't worry. It's going to make so much money.
He was right.
Well, I mean, he was right about them making a lot of money once it left his hands.
Conveniently, he didn't direct Empire Strikes Back.
Conveniently, yes.
Yeah.
Probably just a coincidence that everyone loves that one the most.
That's everyone's favorite. Yeah. Weird, George. Maybe you should have taken a hint with that one.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Or I don't know. Maybe gotten a few extra writers in the prequels that you were making to go, yeah, maybe don't bring up the Force's little bacteria. That might not be a good idea. Or just keep it as Magic Force.
That's why
Good guys
J.J.
and bad
Abrams
guys
had
can
to
magic.
remake A New Hope, though, is because the prequels existed.
Yeah.
You can dismiss it as a Disney thing, but J.J. had to get goodwill back to the fans by showing them a remade version of something that, I love
that's why
very valid point.
Yeah, that's what we said we wanted, right? We're like, oh, we don't like these prequels. They don't feel like the original one. Well, JJ's like, all right, well, here you go. Remake.
I mean, I watched A New Hope last night, and it's super dated. Just to be able to see the trench run with today's standards of graphics, it's awesome. I really could care less.
I agree. I mean, that trench run in Force Awakens is absolutely phenomenal.
Classic, though.
It's
classic.
So good.
Sure, it's A New Hope's classic. Like those Atari Pong graphics. Those are classic, man. They don't age.
Classic.
The little things you can tell are clearly on like a stick, and they're just flying it across.
It's like bad. It's really bad, but yeah,
they were really good for 1977, though.
Right.
Yeah, but let's be honest, some practical effects hold up over time. Some don't. This is not on the subject, but Ghostbusters, if you guys rewatch that, those effects are god awful. So
that's like the first Terminator. Ooh.
Yeah.
The one that everyone ignores because it's that bad.
Oh.
They're like, no, the Terminator started at 2. That's one that you start at 2. Like, that's a series that you start halfway through. Like,
so if we focus on the good parts of it, there are a lot of good things about the original trilogy and the CGI as compared to some of the other movies that even came out after it. So,
but you know, okay, I'm
or George Lucas, but just look at Jabba the Hutt in Return of the Jedi, and then look at the Jabba the Hutt CGI that they insert into the remake special edition.
It was completely unnecessary to add that. Like that hangar scene where he's like slithering around.
I still want the hangar scene with the fat dude in the fur coat.
Yeah, the behind the scenes footage would be great. Yeah,
the original fat guy. They're like, this is Jabba the Hutt. Like, that's who that guy is.
Wait. We need a Funko Pop of that guy.
Yeah, Steve.
They did like the Ralph McQuarrie concepts. I want like OG original Jabba the Hutt guy.
Yeah,
concept series.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
The green screen series, like the people with the little ping pong balls in their suits. Like, I want that.
Yeah, Star Wars guy. As long as you put
Star Wars
on the box,
mocap actor.
Mocap.
Mocap, the mocap actor in the box.
Put a limited edition sticker on it. It'll sell.
Oh yeah.
LE 1000. We can't. Everyone's also a big fan of this.
Yep.
I've been a fan of mocap actors my entire life.
I had no idea. Just
I deserve
and I
this.
love this. That's funny.
So Benjamin brings us up. Apparently, that guy was Mantar from WWE, which I didn't know.
Really?
I just-
Gen
know
B
that
has
either.
some good info.
Yeah, Ben knows everything.
You learn something new every day. I just thought it was just a fat dude in a fur coat, but apparently it's a fat famous guy in a fur coat.
Well, there you go. If you can call him famous, sure.
Yeah.
I like that. I think he looked okay. Oh, I think he looked just like him.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Well, never mind. So I
think that's
scratch
what it was.
that.
It was like a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Ben's
a
just
joke.
being a wise
Just
ass.
whoosh over
Yeah.
my head because I was like, "Oh shit, it's actually a person."
Right? No, it's
Well,
not.
it must be real. We read it on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
I was
I'll
like,
blame you, Ben.
I-
100%. I blame
I
you.
know nothing of wrestling, so I was like, "Yeah, it could be him."
Could be.
I'm like, I don't know who that guy is, but seems legit.
Sure, maybe.
If it was a wrestling comment and it came from butt wasted Ed, then I would say fact, because Ed
Yeah,
wouldn't
I mean-
steer us wrong.
To be fair,
That's true.
like WWE, WWF wasn't a thing in 1977. I don't think so.
Yeah.
No,
that,
it wasn't.
That should have been the clue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there are
But
holes
again,
in this now that
I
think
don't.
about
I
it.
don't know my wrestling history.
Ed gave
to
us
know
the thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah.
that. Yeah, he did. So there we go.
Confirmed. That's
Thank you, Ed.
right. So since Disney now does own the rights to Star Wars, would you rather them just continue on like they are right now with characters that are already developed, or do you want them to do
No.
like what they were supposed to do with Ryan Johnson and go outside the universe and build something that doesn't exist that we don't know about?
So-
Outside the universe.
Yeah, so here's
Yep.
the argument. I mean, we've actually talked about this on the STS guys. I'm going to hold up the STC sticker. This is all that we've seen of the Star Wars universe. It's a universe, right? This is a universal conflict. We have all this space around that has been completely untouched. Even in the Mandalorian has stayed for the most part within this circle.
Yeah.
This is a place where we could go and take tons of other stories. There's got to be other force sensitive people that kind of figured out like, hey, I can move this pen with my mind. Like, I wonder what else I can do. And to actually go out and like learn how to do stuff, not as a Jedi, not as that, like follow some of those stories or follow some of these rebels, other things like that.
It's
The non-force
delicate.
sensitive people.
It's delicate with the lore though, just because there's a ton of people who are force sensitive back in the prequel period, and they're going and recruiting them into the Jedi Order. So those people still exist after the Empire snuffs a lot about, but again, they hunt down and kill a bunch of them. So you're kind of restarting from scratch, and it's all based on the story that's been told. So you can go out to other periods,
Saying, like,
but
stay out of that
story
little
still
radius.
is like a crutch that kind of hurts
Yeah.
everything that you try to expand out to.
You got that kid from Last Jedi who was sweeping up
Exactly.
with the broom.
You got
yeah,
retcon.
you got that kid.
JJ
I wanna
Retcon,
see
maybe
the
he's like,
kid show.
come here, kid. Let me
Yeah.
shoot you between the eyes, little fucker.
Yeah. And apparently, I mean, you have Sith that are apparently recruiting armies to be able to build spaceships bigger than they've ever seen before out of nowhere. Just like, oh yeah, we've had these for a long time. You just
We
no
built
one
them on
knew
this
about
special
them.
planet under the Earth, so nobody
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Yeah, because they did that. All those
And
little
they wear
Changing
red.
yeah, those creepy
And then-
little
He's
grandpas all
have you
did it.
heard this term Deus Ex Machina? I really
Yeah.
like it. Let's try that.
Yeah. Here's the question: is before because they just found out about it. Who the fuck was flying those ships?
Drones.
Like that's yeah. Like how were they flying? They didn't have a crew. Like they didn't until just before that.
They're
There
just
was no
clones.
one there. Yeah.
Once it's Star
No,
Wars, you
here's
just
here's
mark
the real
everything
answer
to
to that
clones.
one. Because it's Disney, that was Ultron. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Crossing universes.
Crossing
That
universes.
is neat.
But yeah, but even to that point, like, yeah, I get that, they were getting hunted down, and I mean, you play Force Unleashed and all those things, like they have that whole idea of like people getting hunted down. At that point, they can't find everybody. It's a universe. How many planets are there? Like, there are so many other stories that you could tell of
Darth
different
Vader
conflicts.
had 30 years, and literally that's all that he had
Yes,
to do.
and he could barely move his shoulders, and he walked like a tank.
But still, all he had to do was kill people. That was his one job, was to kill force-sensitive people.
Yeah, but again, one person over 30 years. Well, okay, we're gonna do some math here.
That's a
Killed
lot of.
Obi-Wan.
If he could visit one planet each day,
Yeah.
that's a lot of planet visitations.
So at most, he could kill about 11,000 people.
That's
One a
lot.
day. That's a lot of people. True. But we're talking about a universe. That's enough. That
I mean, the
probably
Jedi had a bunch of
on the
people, and they
Earth.
only found a couple hundred Force-sensitive users over like a 100-year period.
And wouldn't he have just started at Tatooine? Because apparently everything
Yeah.
in the whole universe revolves around Tatooine.
Yeah,
that would have been easy.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's my point. Is can we leave Tatooine alone? Like,
Well,
please leave.
Jakku is Tatooine, though, so
It
we
is.
can just reform it.
Yeah, but no, but think like the Mandalorian had to go back to Tatooine,
Yeah.
right? Like they're like
People
we're-
like
we're-
that, though. It's
Yeah.
so weird that Star Wars is held to a different standard than Marvel. When people see Easter eggs and asides in Marvel, they're like, oh, "That's so cool." You see it in Star Wars, like, "Oh, can't we do something else?" God, is it always Thanos? What the hell?
Always that.
That is true.
It's just a different standard for
It
Star
is
Wars.
true.
Yeah, it is.
That is true that we all look at that and say, like,
In New
Marvel's
York.
like, oh, in this comic, he's wearing red because the cover of that comic, he was wearing that same color. Like, yeah, it's
Well,
super crap like that.
even setting wise, a lot of the Marvel stuff takes place in New York.
It has to
Nobody
be New York.
really complains about that,
That's where
right?
Stanley
Like,
was riding them at.
yeah, of course. It's the only place Stanley ever went. So
Right. But then again, too, if you think about it, outside of New York, where could you have someone like Spider-Man who swings from buildings?
Those
Like,
are
you
the
could-
best.
You can't
That
do that
London,
in
Paris,
the
Paris,
States.
is the
Tokyo.
Yeah, but you can do like
downtown Austin.
LA. He's gonna be like, all right, I got this like
Downtown Austin.
I got this like I got 8 buildings I can swing
Yeah.
between. Cool.
I'm
Like
done.
the rest
Don't
I'm done.
ever-
Controlled. All right, we're good to go. But yeah, like I think Star Wars to revitalize it and how Disney could save it is to go away from this whole Skywalker setup, get away
It's
from the
scary.
Empire. And
If you went to
I
Knights
know
of
it's
the Old
scary.
Republic time, that's 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That's scary, but that
It-
really appeals to the people who bitch and complain.
Yeah.
And that movie would fail spectacularly because just all those nerds would go see it, and the normies would be like, "That sounds super stupid."
Unappealing
what are
to
you
the
talking
masses,
about?
right?
But don't go do
Yeah.
the movies. Give Star Wars movies a break. Right? Do
Well,
these
they're doing
in-
that. I
do
think the
these in
next one's not till,
animated.
like 23.
Yeah, because and is it Rian Johnson still going to go back through? Like, is that still going? Like, we don't even know.
At least
Um,
it's not Dan and David, so I'm good.
Oh,
but like,
yeah, that's
but
right.
you have a platform now with Disney Plus. You have the ability to make animated. You could do these little live action things. Tell some original, fresh stories that don't revolve around the same shit we've seen day in and day out. Except, you know what? I would actually like to see the 2 stormtroopers that were on the speeder bikes in the Mandalorian. Can I please have like a
Baby
small,
Yoda?
like a little, like just a little, like a 15-minute. You know how they used to throw those in like in between shows? It'd be like, here's this little 15-minute like mini series. I want one of those that just follows them at different points. Like, what were they doing on Endor? Like, what were they doing on the? Were they on the Death Star and just barely got off? Like, I would love to see those guys in a story. But outside of that, give me something completely different. Tie it back to Star Wars.
Yeah. But like
keep it in that
make those
feel.
stormtroopers like a buddy cop thing.
Yeah.
Right. 2 kind of bumbling, not so A-list stormtroopers. Give me something fun and kind of goofy. Like I want goofy Star Wars.
Who wouldn't want a TV show from the point of view of a dumb stormtrooper? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I would watch
Last
that.
night when we
Yeah.
were watching A New Hope, Vancer Toys Chris was like, "What if they did a series on the guy who trained stormtroopers is actually a rebel spy, and that's why they're such terrible shots? Like they could have a whole thing that he's like teaching them to just be absolutely garbage."
it's Kung Pao Enter the Fist, where he's like, I
Yeah.
trained him wrong as a joke. Yeah, like
Yeah.
It's a
it
very
would work.
interesting concept.
Well,
Yeah,
this-
it would.
You know, go back and say the guy who hits his head in a New Hope is one of those guys on the speeder bike, and I want to see, you know,
Yeah.
from his point of view when he walks through the door, dunk, and like, like have it be one of those guys, and then tell the story
Yeah.
after, you know, Luke and Leia run away. He's like, dude, I couldn't see shit. I hit my head, and like I couldn't see out my mask.
That could be his first day. His
Yeah.
first day, like all that stuff went down, and he was running around. He banks his head, and he barely got off the Death Star before it exploded. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah, right. Like,
PTSD, going to therapy,
Punching
Yeah.
a
day in the
Yoda.
life of
I
a
wanna see a
traumatized stormtrooper.
Yeah, I want to see a stormtrooper who goes to therapy.
Yeah,
It's
the kind of
every
stuff
shot. I don't get it. What am I doing wrong? Can't shoot anything.
yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
mine,
it's like-
I'm gonna I'm gonna pitch mine real quick. So this was like episode 16 of the STS Guys podcast when Scott.
We have a whole bunch more.
We have a whole bunch ridiculous
more. That was a while ago.
My favorite one was, remember the medical droid from Empire Strikes Back who's patching up Luke? I want a 2-1B. Yeah, I want a 2-1B. Like medical house style drama where each week 2-1B's like fixing up some new person, but he has to come up with crazy ways like House did to come up with like all these crazy diagnoses and stuff. Give me like a Star Wars, take these other genres like medical shows or Law and Order. Give me Star Wars Law and Order. Like, why can't they do that kind of stuff? Those shows are proven to be successful with like normal humans. Give me some aliens, man, who are out there like doing special victims units. Totally.
I'm there. You know that, Larry. I'm there. Yeah. SVU. That's all you got to say. I'm there.
Right? Yeah. Star Wars SVU. Everybody would watch that.
But okay. So to get into serious though, to Trevor's point, give me some Old Republic stuff, please, for the sake of all that is good and holy. Give me some Old Republic things.
And all the way back to when the first Sith and how his apprentice killed him.
Right. And that's how that whole tradition started. Like that is a perfect fucking story to tell and to put on film, because everyone would want to be like, oh, how did the Sith become Sith? Like, why are there Sith? Why is there a dark side to the Force? And that would still catch people's interest. Even the normal person would be like, wait, this is Star Wars, but it's how like the Jedi and Sith came to be like in a battle. That would be pretty cool. Like, I think I would enjoy that. Or give retell the whole Darth Raven story where he's basically good and potentially goes back to being like bad, goes to good, and like have a person who thinks they're good, like Memento style. They forget their whole thing and they learn that like I'm being a good guy, but wait, I'm actually this really bad person. And like, how do you handle that? That's a great story. And I think it would make money, but yeah, you would have to convince hardcore fans to get into that story as well.
Like the backstory of Mace would also be, I think, a really good story because he walked that fine line between good and evil.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think he had a purple lightsaber, guys?
Yeah, because Samuel L. Jackson was like, it's going to be purple. And they're like, we don't have purple ones. He's like, you're going to have a purple
You're going to make it, motherfucker.
All right.
The only one who gets a purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, if Samuel L. Jackson comes to you and you're like, you want to be in my movie? He's like, yeah, but I get a purple lightsaber. You're going to be like, all right. That's not a traditional color, but fine, whatever. Have purple. Go for it.
We'll make it happen for you.
Make it happen.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll figure some lore for that. Don't worry. Okay.
I like the idea that after Solo came out, somebody on Twitter responded to the official Star Wars account, and they're like, how come you're making Han Solo? Nobody cares. Let's get Vader a Star Wars story. And they actually responded, and they said, we've made 6 films about Vader's Star Wars story.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So I could see Disney remaking the prequels and the original trilogy sooner than any of these ideas.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to go back and go, we could really revamp A New Hope and, recast all those things and just have, just
Sebastian Stan as Luke. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
No.
It's essentially the same guy.
Yeah. They basically got all these Marvel actors kind of on the hook, and those movies are all done and they're not doing anything with them. They're under contract. Just throw them into a Star Wars thing. Like, we gotcha.
Sure. There you go.
Chris Evans as Han Solo. Really?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, no.
I think Stan would be a better Han Solo.
Yeah.
Chris Evans be the better Han Solo. He's the better Han Solo than the one we got in the Solo movie.
Ooh.
And he didn't even play the part yet. We're fan casting him. We're like, he would have been better in that one.
Anthony Mackie as Mace Windu. That one I can kind of see a little bit, not really, but it's a little bit
younger.
closer.
Yeah, it would work.
Yeah.
Who else could he be? Like it's too easy to say Billy D. Williams. Right?
Because the one thing out of Solo that came out of it was the God, what's his name that played Lando?
Childish Gambino.
Childish Gambino. Donald Glover coming in as played a really, really good. That was a person who came into that as a fan and was like, I know the character I'm playing. I know what his swagger was in those films, and I'm gonna, bring that with my own thing. Like,
he's MCU connected too, because he was in Spider. Wasn't he in one of the Spider?
Yeah, I mean it's debatable whether it's fully MCU or not, but yeah, I mean that's kind of jumping from the subject.
I mean, not to curtail people into things, but you could have had Donald Glover be Han Solo. He doesn't have to be Lando.
Yeah, which would have been cool.
Right. And
normies and Disney would never take that risk.
But again, you could look at it and say, but I mean, to your point, do we have to can we just follow a smuggler and make it a whole like heist movie? Why does it have to be Han Solo?
Yeah.
Right? Like at that point, you could have taken that whole heist crew and did 2 different people other than Han and Chewie, and made the whole movie about this heist gone wrong and getting revenge back on the person. Solo could have been a great movie had you just not had it been Solo.
I had to see the 12 parsecs thing.
Yeah, we had to see the 12 parsecs. And we had to see the dice. Why does he put dice in the mirror? And
so bad.
Yeah, just do it. Make it Smuggler's Run versus Solo, right? That could have been a thing.
Yeah,
it's true.
Just something along those lines, like.
So what are you guys doing next? Isn't it almost time for the
STS
Strikes Back watch party?
It is.
So that works.
Well, cool. So there's no one we can. I mean, I guess we could try to raid somebody, but if head over to Screener, right? I know Trevor's posted up the link. Scener. Head over to Scener.
Can you post
Don't
it in
go
the
to
chat?
whatever the hell I said. It might not be appropriate. Go there, and if you post it, I can repost it. If I have to.
Private chat.
Okay, cool. So go check that out. It's going to be dope. Where's my chat? Private.
I see that Ben is on, Jace is on, and Boston is on.
Cool. Already?
So any number of the 3, that's what my recommendation would be. But if you guys have anybody else, then, I'm all for it.
Is there a code for the giveaway? Ed is asking. I think that's what code he means. Or is it?
Yeah, probably.
So since we talked about Last Jedi today, the code is Ryan, Rian.
Yeah, not my name.
Yeah, I wanted to spell it different.
Don't spell it.
That way no one would guess it.
Yeah. I mean, that is the proper spelling of his name, guys. So maybe mine's is just wrong. I don't know. I'm blaming my mom.
I would say
right.
I'm blaming Ryan Johnson's mom.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the person that was like, I want to do this, but I want to make it a little bit different than anybody else.
Yeah.
Right,
I want to make sure that he can never get a keychain at the Super.
Oh, there you go. Boston's doing X-Wing Lego.
Yeah,
that's very on brand for today.
I got it ready. Let me drop this link real quick, and then if whoever wants to raid can go say hi to Boston real quick, and then if you want to jump,
we're watching
over,
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, which should be fun, right? It's arguably the best movie. Yeah. There you go. Link is in the chat. Thank you guys for all hanging out. Thank you, Trevor, Prague, Liz, Ryan, and of course Scott. Thank you guys for coming to hang out. Hope you're enjoying Force Fiesta.
Heck yeah, man.
All right. Well, with that, everybody have a good night, and I guess we'll see you all in the watch party. Bye-bye.
Bye.